drop-down list in Excel, the easiest way to make sure that the information that you want is the information that you get. It'll dummy-proof your spreadsheet, it'll make it easy on the user, and it'll make sure that the data that you're getting is actually consistent. We're going to cover 3 accounting-related uses today, which will hopefully give you ideas of 100 different ways you can use this absolutely awesome tool. I'm Kyle with The Technical Accountant. Let's go. So our first option here, I have an expense report template. I'm going to add the drop-down list option on the expense type here. We don't want people putting in some crazy off-the-wall expense type. No, they got to make sure they select airfare, mileage, meals, whatever it is, so we can tie it back to our GL accounts. So to start it off, creating a lookups tab is the way to go. This tab, it'll just basically have all your drop-down list options here. When you get this sheet out into the wild, you can basically take this tab and hide it so that they don't even know it's there. But for now, we're going to leave it showing. So we got our expense types, there's departments, we can add simple options, yes, no. We can pick divisions. So for this one, let's do the expense type. I'm going to select all of my rows here, and then I'll go up to data validation. And you see by default, it says, look, just let any value under the sun in here. Well, here's our drop-down list. Select list from the option. And then let's go ahead and select our source. Let's go to the lookups. Here's our expense types. I'm going to select from the first one all the way down. I'm going to leave one space. This is intentional. So let's hit enter. And you see it says to ignore blanks by default. Don't ignore blanks. We want the blank that we selected to show. And you'll see once we open this up, it's now a drop-down list. And here's our blank. So that's kind of important. So they might have selected taxi fare here. Wait a second, I don't even have a line for this. So there's our blank. That's where our blank comes into use. So basic drop-down list. If we reselect this range, let's go back to data validation. And you see we can get a little more fancy here. So you can add a input message. I like to put just some general information for the user so that they know what the expense type really means. So I'm going to say expense type is for GL coding. Select OK. And then you see as I hover over, okay, expense, oh, this dictates the GL coding. Mileage, cool. So if I reselect my range here, let's go back to data validation. You can also go to the error alert. By default, it's going to stop you. Basically, they will not be able to add anything other than the drop-down list options that we've provided them with. The other useful option is just to give them a warning. So with a warning, you could say something like, are you sure? And then your error message, all new expense types should be approved by accounting. So this time, again, if I select miscellaneous, great. But if I want to just say, if I'm the user and I want to type in something completely off the wall, are you sure? All new expense types should be approved by accounting. At this point, they could continue, they could speak with you, get it added to the expense type drop-down list. You can add it after the fact, whatever the deal is, but they can hit continue. So that's the warning prompt versus the flat-out stop them prompt. Second use here, we did another video on how to use Excel to create financial statements. So here's the income statement. Well, the drop-down list in this situation is just going to be our list of divisions. That's part of our chart of accounts. So if I select 200, you notice that my numbers update here. But what's cool with this is, again, this list of divisions is used for formulas. So it's got to be one of these, and it dictates the numbers here. So you see, again, all of my divisions are listed over here. But what's cool is after they select one, because they may not know that 100 means administrative. And that's where you can use a simple XLookup formula, VLookup formula to basically say, okay, go and find 100 from our lookup list and pull the corresponding name. So we'll go back, you see, okay, when I select 500, it's consulting trading. So it shows the end user exactly what it is that they're selecting. It gives them more detail. The third and final option here is I might have a list of customers. Well, in my customer listing in my accounting system, which I've now pulled into Excel, there's not a field in my accounting system to say who landed this customer. Where did this customer come from? So we'll create a basic drop-down list. Let's go back to data validation. Let's go to list option here again. Do not want to ignore the blank. We want to give them the option to erase what they've done easily. Let's go to our source, lookups, who landed the customer. Here's our list that we created. Selecting that blank spot, hit OK. And now very easy. These are your only potential options. Let's copy down this data validation. I'm just going to copy it. Let's go down. And John. Simple way here just to make sure again that the information that you want to actually see on this form, the customers, the people who landed the customers, you want to make sure they're not putting in something crazy. Let's give them the drop down list. Hands down the way to go. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. I'm Kyle with the Technical Accountant. This spreadsheet is available in the comments below. See you on the next one.